Out o' Wark. Brother Jim, it's but sad news I send, and I dunna know how to write it, I'm sure, for to tell folk of one's own distress can be no pleasant task for poor. But our mister has locked up his mill, and 'bout where thou knows wheel there's na brass, and 'bout brass there's na mate, so thou sees that we aren't getting far on in this pass. We can get nowt from shopkeepers now, they can trust us no more about here, but they han done very well upon thole while this work's been so awkward and queer, for they stood out as long as they could to help all that 'ud pay or 'ud try, and o' those folks that couldna, they fun, it were dreadful hard work to deny. Thou can think o' what faces there were when he first put up notice to stop. Childer laugh, fathers sight, mothers wept, and there's such heavy hearts throughout shop. Me and the wife, when I get home at night, had to talk it o'er, and who said that if the worst come to worst we should then have her to turn some at thoddments to bread. Well, our family Bible with a clasp, and my grandfather's name in we unsowed, and my grandmother's prayer book that were 140 year old, and that old oaken dress has gone too, with those fine fancy carvings on feet. It's dreadful work stripping one's womb, and it's heart-wringing too, Mum, to see it. Now we're not a red cinder in grate, and all childer gone hungry to bed, to their straw, for their beds han been sowed, and their blankets too, bless thee, for bread. How a hush a be bold little Bob, and his mother, Lord, how who sight, with great tears running what down her face, as our little thing yammered and skrit. I've been used to walk the world badly shod, when there lots of sharp stones upon ground. I know now what it is to want bread, with me little brids all gaping round, with 'em gaping and chirruping too, where chirrup at winna be still. It's a vast ugly fix to be in, the cupboard's empty and bellies to fill. Somebody sent Will an errand the t'other day, and they gan him a cake to bring home, so he shared out with Nanny and Bob, and he had a bit he put by for our Tom. And the mother and me, while they ate, stood and watched and so fed second hand, nibbling close enough this side at grave. Let us hope for good pasture beyond. When they'd eaten their mouthful apiece, they'd a notion of manking a bit, but then famine had made noan with fun, and they couldna mak grim sorrow to flit. So they cowed 'em down upon floor, and they talked about stopping at mill, and they tored o'er their strings of complaints, as there's childer, or grown sometimes will. If there were but some work for his dad, and his mama'd keep things Will could do, for his velveteen breeches who'd sewed, and his jacket, his cap, and shoon too. Little Nanny chimed in, we him here, aye, and my pretty frock's gone, and all, and my boots and white stockings and cape, and my bonnet and nice paletto, and all that'ns their little tongues ran, but such prattling all went against grain, when misfortunes are bad o'er theirselves, fretting childer a lesson no pain. How we look back to past we regret, where present's a bleak and so drear, and a future so dreadfully blank, at hope's deeing, while stronger grows fear. Our wading lip deep in distress, me wife wasting with clemming and care, all me childer kept craving for bread, and me sorrows get harder to bear, for our spirits were quite broken down, and all gone were our family pride, and we'd planned and we'd schemed and we'd clemmed, and we'd no honest shift left untried. We could still go to board, and I went, tell me tale with great tears in me een, You're in a very hard case, John, they said, well, th' hardest we han yet ever seen. But this awful condition of things, and the worst state 'at we're fast coming to, make admittance to th' house, John, for you, about the very best thing we can do. There I stood and kept staring a while, I were gloppant wi' sentence they'd passed, and me heart let fair up into me throat, till I broke out a skriking at last, for I know how I'd powlet and tried, and I'd done all that ever a mon could, hoping to keep me boat swimming through storm, and I now felt it sinking in flood. Any mon wi' a good loving wife, and with childer all prattling about, with a womb when there's work like a heaven, he may partly me feelings mak out. I've been struggling up till all my life, I did hope better days I should see, but I stick to me womb though it's bare, for a Bastille is no place for me. So we han nowt for it now but clem on, for I darna tell this tale to wife, to their own folk'll cling in distress, it's so hard to be parted in life. They mun just fling a thought now and then, or to us at such reason to be sad, and they'll bear me good wishes all round, to thy wife and thy lasses and lad.